Okay. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at this. There's the pedal board. There's a pretty good view of the pedals. It's kind of strange looking at this back on the computer because I think everything is a mirror image. So let's go back through this again because I just did this once and I don't think that I was recording at all, sadly. So I'm going to grab a drink and I'll be right back to it. I hate how fast the days go. We're going to do this with a Squire Mustang. So I'm going to give you a cheaper guitar sound, and that'll be a little bit more honest to the pedals. Um, we're also using the Super 112 Fender amplifier. We're not going to get loud and overdrive it or anything, but it is a tube amp. We are probably going to get loud on some of these pedals, so hopefully these volume swells from the pedals themselves ain't so disturbing once this translates to video. Cheap Fender Mustang. I got her for $160, including a small, older crate amp that I don't really need. But I wanted this guitar. It's a punk rock guitar. It's cheap. It's a little noisy. And it's bare bones. There's nothing special about this. I do like it though. It's got the satin on the neck, which makes it feel like I'm handling baby powder. That's the best way I can describe that. Got our chromatic tuner. It is not engaged when you engage the chromatic tuner. It will mute things for you. My E is on, and the rest of the guitar is tuned to that. I don't like using it for the secondary notes. I don't want to lose my ability to actually tune by ear. But I will cheat and get my E down and then tune the guitar to the rest of that most of the time. Unengaged. This is our clean sound. So next, we're going to go for the wall. I'm going to turn this level down on some of these because that's going to be loud. And I'm sitting right next to the amp right now. I don't want to go deaf, but we'll engage this wall. This wall's got a little bit of distortion in it. I haven't turned the distortion up because I run 4 other distortion pedals. There's an older version of this wall that has a plastic enclosure, and that's the one that everybody goes after because of the collectability. Somehow the Chili Peppers have made it popular, but for me, this metal enclosure is a lot fucking nicer than the plastic enclosure. So that being said, I'm going to go on to the big muff. This is more your Black Sabbath style fuzz, not so much distortion. It is a fuzz. turn this back on and show you the sustain on the thing because that will hold out a note quite longer. This bone shaker, it reminds me of more of the distortion used on Nirvana's Bleach album. The super feedback, well, let's talk about the bone shaker a little bit more because you got more EQ options on this pedal than most distortion pedals, and that's really where it shines. You can carve out your sound a lot more on that. Okay, we'll go on to the super feedbacker and distortion, the DF2. They had a lawsuit talking about the name of the pedal. So I have the more favorable of the two, and this is actually my first guitar pedal. And it's got some funk to it that's not supposed to happen because it's supposed to have this feedback kind of thing that happens if you hold it down. It's like a feedback into or a sustain into feedback, but it kind of turns into a I don't know, a sound that sounds like a damn police chase or something. It's really strange, but I do utilize that occasionally. But it does put me in the mind of Nirvana's In Utero sound. So, yeah, I gave you a little taste of that. The Big Muff, I would use this type of distortion more for open chords. That's the thing about some Dinosaur Jr. designer of the pedal. It's more the old style where things would be open chord distortion. I don't know if that's going to come through on the poor microphone inside of this damn webcam. I probably just clipped the shit out of it. So, Octave Boss OC2. You can set it up to where you have octaves above and octaves below. So when you're playing a note, you could be playing three of the same notes at the same time, which will kind of simulate having a bass player or just making things bigger. And I really like the sound of it. So let's go. Let's play something like that without it so you understand what it does. And that's pretty much what that does. Fab Echo, thing about the Fab Echo, it really hurt guitar stores because people make commissions on sales and these things were only $12 a piece. The enclosure is a complete piece of shit, but the circuitry is pretty nice. So it's just a bare bones echo. It doesn't sound bad. It's got that little ping in there that I wish wasn't there. This is a first act delay. First act is known for making student instruments. Think little kids at Toys R Us, but this is a nice metal enclosure and it does what it's supposed to do. I run this high with a lot of delays to it, so this is kind of like a scary movie when I start using this thing. That would be a good build up before something bad happens. It's a suspense. Like I said, scary movie, suspense. Chorus. Chorus is a dreamy sound. You can get pretty chords out of it. That's, I don't know, it always puts me in sound of like mind of what a guitar would sound like underwater. I think that's the chorus sound in my mind, is a guitar underwater. It's hypnotizing. I like it. Gonculator is really hard to explain. This is the old DoD grunge pedal circuit, and it also has an overtone. So, with having a constant overtone, that means that you have to play this if it's on. You just don't want to let it keep on ringing. That would get annoying. So, you have to think about where that tone is and find something that goes along with that tone. But you can dial in the tone. On the new one, on the old one, you're stuck with whatever tone that it's stuck at. So, and it's the angry robot sound. I don't know how else to describe it. So I think I'm going to start down here. See that last note's almost in the same pitch as that. Compression sustainer. I would typically run this all the time underneath all these other pedals because it gives a little bit more control to how loud everything is. Or, yeah, that's pretty much what it is. It's a pedal tamer, if that makes sense. But it does compress your sound. So that's made for taking a little bit of the dynamics out of all the other pedals when things get way too jumpy. That is this board. I do have other pedals that I might show off some other time, but this is what I'm running right now. And I said, I don't know if I want to keep this Ibanez wall on there because it's crunchy. I'll have to clean out some circuits on that. And I want to go back to using the Kirk Hammett wall because it was a bit smoother. And like, I think the only reason that I put this thing on here is to have more distortion options, and I have enough distortion options. I really don't need any more distortion on my board at the moment. So, there's that.